Episode 56.
Welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards, because Commander's number one.
I'm your hostess with the mostest, Necrozak. Today we are joined with the queen of counters, Hope, probably the nicest guy in Canada, Brian, and the man, the myth, the legend, Dan.
I'm surprised she actually gave me, like, a good intro, not like, the guy that we always kill, Brian.
Brian, we hate him.
The hatred magnet, Brian.
But
Brian,
you mean
he's a
well.
butt.
You mean well.
Today, we would be negligent if we didn't talk about the Secret Lair product that everyone's talked about. There's, for everyone who was under a rock
Everyone hates
and
it.
hasn't seen it, there's a new Secret Lair coming up.
Hell yeah, buddy.
So let's
That may or may not be released in August of 2021.
Yeah, by the time we get it.
If they keep up with their normal scheduling.
Yeah, you'll get it for Halloween 2024.
Yeah.
We're going to quickly go over the cards and then obviously the controversy with them and our own thoughts and everything. So let's get right into it. I'll get Zach to read us the cards.
Well, what is the Secret Lair?
So this is...
Yeah.
This is Secret Lair X Walking Dead. So it's our first IP crossover with a pop culture television show. So the first card I think we'll talk about was the one that's most recently spoiled, which would be Rick, Steadfast Leader. It's 2 and a white for a legendary creature human soldier. As Rick enters the battlefield, choose 2 abilities from among First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Humans you control have each of these chosen abilities. As long as you control 4 or more humans you control get +2/+2, and Rick is a 3/4.
So he'll hit himself, which is an important thing to know. So he is potentially a 5/6 for 4.
Yeah.
He's the only reason I want to buy this.
With First Strike and Vigilance.
Or Lifelink. You choose.
First Strike and Vigilance.
And we should preference this too. Rick is just Rick. He's not like how the Godzilla cards were, where it's like, you know, Godzilla, which is actually this monster.
Yeah, it's not the Mothra.
Yeah, this is creature super type Rick.
So Rick is...
+1/+1.
This is just the actual black border card. If you play any Eternal formats, these cards are going to be these cards. You can play them in those formats.
Yeah. What's the next one, Zach?
The next one is Daryl, Hunter of Walkers, 2 red-green for a legendary creature human archer. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent creates 3 walker tokens. You can tap Daryl, it deals 2 damage to a target creature, and whenever a zombie an opponent controls dies, you draw a card. Daryl is a 4/4.
To be honest, though, Daryl hunted everything. Not just zombies. Or walkers.
Yeah.
You know, he was a scavenger. He made things work. But I'm not as thrilled about this card. I think it's unique, but it's not one that I'm super excited to build around.
It's kind of a difficult thing to be able to build a deck around whenever an opponent kills zombies. Like maybe it's a meta specific thing.
Yeah, well, I think that if it was this creature with the gruel color types, with all of those same abilities, but it was a creature, where it says walker, where it says zombie, if it instead was replaced with creature, I think this card would be really good.
Yep.
But it doesn't, so it's not.
But aren't the walkers still considered zombies?
Yeah, but
they are.
So it gives them 3 zombies. Yeah. But that being said, you're going to get
zombies
3 draws off of this creature.
No, an opponent controls dies.
Yeah, I know. When it enters, you give, or target opponent creates 3 walkers.
Oh, sorry, I thought that it was...
So he can kill the walkers by tapping.
Yeah, so what I'm saying though is I would like it if it was whenever you create whatever creature and whatever creature dies.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha, but it makes sense for him.
It makes sense, but
I'm
it doesn't make sense.
giving you stuff to give me card draw.
Well, let's get guys. Let's get through the cards and then talk about the cards first. Come on. There's so many things to say about all of them. We'll be here all day.
Sounds good.
The next card is the next card is Glenn, the Voice of Calm. 1, a white and a blue for a legendary creature human advisor. He has Skulk, and whenever Glenn deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. He is a 1/3.
So he looks super calm with all those zombies behind him.
It's Glenn's always face.
Well, no, he's terrified of them. But it just it looks very stoic.
At some point, though, at some point you just become used to it, you know? At least in the show. The next card is Michonne, Ruthless Survivor. 3, a black, a green, for a legendary creature, human warrior. When Michonne enters the battlefield, create 2 Walker tokens. As long as Michonne is equipped, she must be blocked if able. And whenever Michonne and at least 2 zombies attack, she gains indestructible until end of turn, and she is a 3/3.
I think she's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting colors too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that building her would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one.
Well, yeah, because you can actually have zombie synergy.
Yeah.
Yep. And the final card, and the one I'm probably most excited about, is Negan the Cold-Blooded. 2, red, white, and a black for a legendary creature, human rogue. When Negan enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each secretly choose a creature that player controls. Then players chooses are revealed, and that player sacrifices those creatures. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, you create a treasure token. Negan is a 4/3.
So, obviously, first off, Negan and Rick are the best cards in this. By a significant margin. A lot of people are going to be buying them for them if they're not collecting them. They're the most playable of the cards.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I could probably get behind Michonne.
Michonne's a pretty cool one, too. But let's start about...
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was phrasing.
The beginning of the controversy is that these are exclusive cards, like Zach was saying, and not skin
skins,
cards.
yeah.
They're not. It's not like the Mecha Godzilla, which everyone seems to forget is also an exclusive card and wasn't in the set.
But they can make it.
They can, yes, correct.
If the set is popular.
No, they can just reprint Godzilla whenever.
Oh yeah.
But Godzilla was like not. It's not
like
another creature.
Like the Godzilla is like the Godzilla, but then like the creature that it's based on hasn't been printed.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So. Let's
the next Ikoria set.
Let's discuss the first thing, which is everyone's very upset about this and just glazes over Nexus of Fate, which was standard legal. These cards are going to be legal in Eternal formats, but Nexus was standard legal.
Yes. Was it only the box topper?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So it was mechanically unique to any other card in the set. There wasn't other turn cards,
and you had to buy a box
to get it, which is why it's still like a $45 card today.
Yeah. In Moose Money. It's so expensive.
So again, there's already the precedent of this. They've already done this. This isn't a new thing.
And people were already pissed.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're going to do whatever we want.
So,
and like my thing about this is like so many people are so mad that like they're making it exclusive, but also it's like I don't think that these are like game breaking or like meta breaking.
They're not broken
by any means, you know. So,
or at least we don't know that they're broken yet.
So a lot of the problem is that people don't care if they're broken. They care about the scarcity that's going to be created. Yes, everyone who wants one can get one, but once the set's done, there doesn't seem to be a place that they can slide this back in, right? Usually the secret layers are the opposite. They're a reprint of a card people like in a different skin, whereas they would have to reprint
Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, they would have to reprint the cards from it somewhere else under a different name.
Yeah.
And then they started talking, oh, well, we
Walking Dead from the Vault.
Well, because the whole point of the secret layer is that they'll never reprint that artwork of it again. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's its selling point. So this is the only spot to get them. I don't think it's a bad thing for collectibles, but at the same time, I kind of see where they're going with it of this sets a strange precedent in the secret layer.
Like, yeah, and that's something that I said too, is I do agree that it's like a strange and potentially dangerous precedent, because exactly like if they're doing this with right now, it's like sure it's for like a different IP, and that can be their excuse is like, well, we couldn't put it in like a normal set, it's like this crossover thing. However, like this does set the example of like, okay, well, like we did it with this, so what else can we do?
I feel that like we're not going to see it within this year's time frame because they've already decided this is what we're doing. These are the sets we're putting out.
Yep.
If it is popular enough, they have said that they will potentially reprint them. So,
but the issue there comes with the trademarking. So they only have the trademark for Walking Dead for this.
Yeah. So by in the next set, you could do zombies and something else, and then you could just name them a different card.
But that's the other thing is that Mark Rosewater said, oh, like we can just reprint them under a different name.
Yep.
But then that lets me run Rick X4 plus totally not Rick X4.
Sounds good to me.
In like my modern humans Rick
No,
deck.
that's bad. That's bad.
I will gamble.
They also have said though that if they do that, where they print like Rick in this set that is, legal in Eternal formats, and then they print the Magic equivalent, the Oracle text will always refer back to them as being the same card. So when you get into these formats, you're not getting to play both copies of the card, so you can't get 8 Rick.
That's a good workaround. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really high on these. I'll be completely honest.
Let's just first off get into the core of the topic. The community was excessively toxic about this product. They have, for anyone who liked it, ruined the excitement for it with their just rampant toxicity. I've never seen anything more toxic. I play League of Legends a lot.
Yeah.
Like this was an insane backlash to the product.
Well, that was an issue that I had. I was just like, so many people came into work yesterday and they were just like, so what do you think of the Secret Lair? And it's like, I think that if I would like The Walking Dead, that I would love this.
That's exactly it for everyone.
And that's the only answer I've been giving, because my opinion didn't really matter, but I'm like, all these people that are excited just had all the wind taken out of their sails.
Yeah. I was very hesitant to engage in any conversations that were not on our Discord. Because, again, I mainly post or discuss through our podcast, and my opinion is not the overall group's opinion. But basically, I just see it as, it's Wizards. They're a business. They're going to put out product to bring in money.
Which is what they should do.
Yeah, and again, the more money they make, the more sweet product we get, the less money they make, our game could go away.
Yep. Well, and there is the argument that Arena will one day include Commander in some form or another with the cool animations that Arena gets. Obviously, with an Eternal format, that's so much work to go back through and do. Even if you look at all of the legal legendary creatures, animating them alone would be a real process. But I truly believe that that'll happen one day, and it'll be real exciting. We're going to, like I said on our Discord before, we'll get this big Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle Stadium where it has my big old dragon holograms.
Blue eyes, white dragon.
And hope can be even more obnoxious.
3 blue eyes, white dragon.
Before we keep going, I gotta that show had no concept of rules whatsoever.
I love it.
He made up the rules as he went, and no one called him.
I polymerize my dead mammoth thingy.
He does already know way too much more
and
than me.
now your blue eyes is rotting from the inside.
They're straight up, Brian. Have you ever watched that show?
That happens.
When it first came out.
Yo, straight out, he just makes the rules up on the fly. He doesn't even care. He's like, he plays summon skeleton. And everyone's like, okay. And then he's like, it's the moon, so he's 10 times powerful. And you're like, what? And it's like, this is a graveyard theme. There's like, where are you getting tombstones from?
I don't understand. I don't know the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I don't know what what happened. But he basically enchanted his skeleton thing onto an arrow. Enchanted a creature onto an arrow and then shot it. Riding. Somebody please explain to me how this happened.
People should just start playing Magic like that. It's like, I play my werewolf, and they're like, okay, it's a 2/2, and I'm like, but you see, I have Blood Moon out, and the power of the Blood Moon elevates it to a 6/6, and you're like, what is he talking about?
Did you see that altar that I posted?
Yeah.
Of the Blood Moon with that werewolf?
But the crescent moon rises.
Yeah. So you forget the date, Zach. It's actually the 4th, and therefore
it is
the
a
moon.
new moon.
All right, back to these cards. Sorry, it's a nonsense show.
What were we talking about?
The whole point of the cards is that Magic still has collector. It's still a collectible thing.
Yep.
That it doesn't matter legal or not. It's Commander. Stop taking yourself so seriously. Everyone, let's be straight about it. No one's crying that these cards are going to be modern legal.
Modern players are.
There was one potential person crying.
But that's, you know what I mean? It's just people want to, if you like it, collect it. That's what Magic's about. It's about collecting things. People collect different lands. No, if you're a collector, then that's what you do. There's no right or wrong thing to do with your cards.
No one plays stamps.
Yeah.
I do.
I set a Cyclonic Rift on fire.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, do what you want with your own cards, but a lot of people have ruined the excitement of it, and when we're so toxic to Wizards about stuff like this, they are going to be hesitant to want to give us more like that. So yeah, like you might be justified in your like, oh, this is a bad idea, but the community went about it the super wrong way.
Yeah.
And
well, I remember my original opinion on it was, I was like, I think this sets a dangerous precedent. However, I'm like, it's cool for people that like The Walking Dead. And then like, then it got to a point where I was hesitant to say that it made me like that I thought that it was a dangerous precedent, because as soon as you say that, people are like, this is garbage, blah blah blah, and like it goes off so aggressively. I was like, well, I don't want to like start that conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to get tangled in it.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I was at. Like, I'm more like, you guys know, I'm already a sensitive guy. Like,
so sensy.
I take things like to heart, and it's the internet, and I probably shouldn't. But like I said, I'm really excited about this. I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead, you know, both the TV show and the comics. And when I saw this was a product I was like, wow, this is for me. Man, I hope, you know, like I got super excited when they showed, you know, the first card being like Michonne. And I was like, man, I don't like Michonne that much, but God, if they put like Negan in here, if they put like, oh God, like
any
the governor, like all these bad guys that I
governor.
Like, yeah. But like I was super excited about that, and then everything started to kind of just turn so sour so quickly, and I was just kind of like, wow, I probably shouldn't voice how excited I am for
like,
this.
I've seen people argue the point. They're like, well, I can't wait for like WWE cards. And I'm like, that's
the year is 2030. I play my
Brock Lesnar. That's me. It's not going to happen.
Yo.
It is a science fiction game.
Oh, Brian lost his video there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I'll have to go and take a look. But yeah, like it's science fiction. The Walking Dead is
fantasy.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. And The Walking Dead is a fantasy theme or a science fiction theme.
Totally.
But, like, you're starting to get into a point where, like, oh, I play my WWE player. That's not in the realm of this.
No, like, if they made, like, a Gandalf wizard, that would be in, like, on theme, you know? Like, if they made, Frodo dwarves, so they're just called them hobbits instead, like that would be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they like that kind of stuff would fit in the universe. That's no different than saying like we don't like the D&D thing that's coming out.
The D&D set.
I'm like, okay, well, like they own, it's the same company. I'm like, so if they can do whatever they want.
Well, so in that like aspect, like Magic was made to be played like in between D&D sessions. People needed something to do, and Magic was kind of supposed to be the in-between. And eventually, like, they started taking themes from D&D because these were the same nerds playing the same thing. So, yeah, like, we're going to have a lot of crossovers. It's honestly, it surprises me it's taken as long as it has to get a D&D set or D&D theme into Magic as it's been. And we've been seeing it happen more and more with the class race-based system, you know? If you play D&D, you're obviously aware, like, this is my class, I'm playing a warlock, here's my race, I'm going to be a human. And we're starting to see that more and more with our legendary creatures, or creatures just in general. We're not just getting, like, human anymore, it's human soldier, or we're getting core cleric, or we're getting goblin rogue, that kind of stuff.
They're really expanding it out, yeah.
Exactly, and this is just another way for them to do it, where it's like,
especially with party mechanic.
Well, and I want to jump in on what you said there too. We're all those same dorks, all of us. Like, if you like The Walking Dead, you like Star Wars, you like, we're all those dorky guys that love guys or girls. Hope, looking at you. But no, like it's we all like what we like. It's Magic. We all want to play and have fun. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Like, none of these cards, in my opinion, yeah, sure, they're only available in the Secret Lair. Boo-hoo. Lots of the Secret Lair things that are available still pick up on, like, a secondary market thing. And anyone who's saying that, like, that's the whole point of most of what we do. That's why we go to game stores, is to get the cards that we didn't get at the first time we bought a box.
And to socialize, since we all stayed in our parents' basements for our first 15 years.
I do. I can recall many a summer where I literally sat in my room and did not leave.
Yeah, like people
good memories.
Like to do,
right?
My thing about this is, so like we said, I'm really excited because it's The Walking Dead. I enjoy The Walking Dead. But you guys aren't as pumped about it because it's an IP that you guys aren't as, like, into.
I just objectively do not care. Like,
yeah. I'm more of an anime fan. If somebody threw in some anime or stuff like that.
But they did. They did in Ikoria. They gave you, like, the comic book Narset and stuff like that. But it's I know. I am someone that's
The
not
point-
into anime
Me
and
starts
everything.
swearing
so,
in Japanese.
Yeah.
Nani?
But again, it's like, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to ruin other people's experience for it.
That
Right
right there.
there.
That is the
point I'm
exact
trying to-
point.
The point I'm trying to make, though, is like this is an IP that most people, or I'll say people won't care about. But what happens when we get an IP people do care about? What happens when we get a My Hero Academia set,
Yeah.
or we get like a Doctor Who set, or something like that? Like these aren't out of the realms of possibility. So just because that like Wizards did something that I don't necessarily agree with how they printed these, that doesn't mean that they won't make something later for people. For people who are interested in this, like they're doing this to test the waters.
The game
And this
is
could be good for us in the long run as collectors and as hobbyists.
the game's about having fun, and at the end of the day, like these aren't broken cards. Like no one's gonna get pub stomped out by your Glen Skulk deck, Like that's what I was saying earlier. Like the Negan one has a pretty good ability, and the Rick has a really good like human thing. But are we gonna cry every time a good human soldier is printed? Like, oh no, Boros is coming for us.
I think the other complaint or other point that I've heard, and Daniel, you've chimed in on this one, is the availability that people in certain locations are not able to get the product. And then we went down the rabbit hole. We found out that
there is that you can arrange for shipping, but it's definitely extra hoops to
Who's not
jump
able
through.
to get the product?
There's a bunch of countries that it just won't ship to specifically because of that country's laws.
Yeah, the main websites are the UK and the North American.
Yeah.
I always saw the 2 URLs.
It'll ship to most places in Europe. It'll do, but like African countries, like they can't ship to, basically.
What about Australia?
I think Australia can get them.
To
They have a list, and they do address it a little bit in their frequently asked questions, saying that they're trying to work out a way to make it better, but at the same time, some of those people just have to pick it up on a secondary market or
proxy
it or exorbitant shipping costs. But that's the other thing is, it's just proxy it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day, like the availability argument in Magic is never going to be one that everyone can win on. Not everyone can have every card. Not everyone has the budget. Not everyone has the means.
I certainly will never own a Black Lotus.
Even if you have the budget, even if you have the budget, you work at a game store. You ever seen a Black Lotus in person?
No.
The
most expensive card I've ever seen in person, well, depending on quality.
Out of home?
Yeah, was like at work, was we had a Gaia's Cradle and then we have the Candelabra, but the Candelabra's beat to hell.
Yeah, that is a hurt Candelabra.
Still playable.
That's the Johnny Cash songs
Still
of Candelabra.
$400 instead of like $1,200.
But that's what I mean, right? Like there is availability, but we've already had the scarcity problem in Commander. For the format's growing. There's going to be less and less copies of the older cards. Sure, they're printing the new stuff in excess, but that doesn't matter. There's the whole point that like the fetches were expensive was that just there was not enough supply to meet the demand of the fetches. We're always going to have that problem, and all of us love the game. All of us are always going to try and get our friends to come and play the game with us. And then as soon as we do, we're just making other cardboard crackheads.
Well, like, think about, like, silly cards. Like, you're looking for a Blackblade Reforged. You can't find one.
Oh, I found one.
Where?
In one of my decks.
But you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't find one at the store.
Yeah, and it's... Even Soul Rings. I buy out all of the Soul Rings all the time.
Even if we have like 20 Soul Rings in the store, I buy the Soul Rings because I buy, like, you see it, like somebody comes in to trade.
He makes so many decks.
Yeah. Well, anybody. No, I mean like if somebody's coming in to trade, like, and they have a Soul Ring, if we have like 20 sitting there, I'm like, I will buy them because I'll come in 2 days later and they'll be gone.
So let's even just touch on any of those. Would anyone have any problem if these were just legendary creatures from the next set? No. People would be underwhelmed and complain they weren't strong enough.
Yes.
If Daryl was like just a card printed in the set and they're like, okay, like he can draw me a few zombies unless I ETB and like do this weird like zombie ETB trigger double, like it wouldn't make sense, right?
And then the other
Azorius colors.
The other statement was, they should have been silver bordered.
Well,
no.
Yeah, like the
I'm not mad about that idea. I think if they would have been silver bordered, that would have been just fine.
But here's my thing. Who cares if they're silver bordered? That people would still play them. Yep. It's not going to change
Commander
anything.
Players would still play them.
Yeah, but modern players aren't going to play Michonne decks.
They might.
They're not.
Maybe we're gonna make modern humans good again.
I'm gonna slot this into my vintage deck.
Yeah,
make that meddling mage worth something.
You know what I mean? So like, and again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't understand modern. Maybe I just don't get the inner workings and how like Daryl's gonna be some new combo piece. But like, you know,
Daryl.
They're not. The Negan card's good. The ability to choose the sacrifice is pretty cool, and they have to also choose something. It's very fun, but that's not. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. People are pissed though.
Yeah.
People are pissed about that card.
Like I don't get it. I don't fully understand why there was so much outrage. And then like we all like you saw that like halfway through the week, the offset or the rage kind of subsided a little bit. But then what? Friday the RC came out with their ruling, which I have to say they did the right thing. I want to actually I'd love to discuss the rules committee at some point, but they did the only thing they could do. Yeah, it's that's the end of it, and people have not had a good response. They just had this, they'll just ban it. The wizards will see. Crosses their arms like like my dad's gonna buy this place. So no, like it doesn't.
My dad owns Nintendo.
Yeah, and that's just it. A lot of people threw their tantrum because they weren't happy with it. Then they're just like, well, the RC is gonna divinely intervene and just put wizards right back in its place. And I loved their statement straight out. We're not gonna wait. We're not banning them. That was like the first line is like, we're not gonna pull any punches here.
We've listened to all the complaints, and we've decided to not.
Commanders about like unique interactions and stuff, right? The fact that decks are gonna not generally go. The whole reason people don't like CEDH is the consistency. The C really should stand for consistency because they do the same thing, right? Like a CEDH deck, they fetch whatever demonic consultation, they win with fast as orc. That's not what people want. People like to play decks and then
they want the interaction. They want the stack to be like this high with just things happening.
Yeah. I want a stack of pancakes.
They want different triggers. They want to see their deck like, I didn't even know that this combo
existed.
I love that.
Yeah, and like the whole argument of like, are the cards good or are the cards bad? Look at Grakmaw from the new set. Grakmaw's not that great of a card. It's like a pretty cool card, but it's not mechanically broken. Grakmaw enables an infinite combo in my Tan deck. Yeah. Right? Like, it's good is so subjective to what is being done with it. Mm-hmm. Can you break any of these cards? Sure, you can break anything in Magic. Can you build a strong Negan make people sacrifice deck?
Can you build
Absolutely.
A strong Glenn deck? Probably.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you want to build it, then build it. And like, the whole idea that like, I don't like this, so other people shouldn't be allowed to enjoy it, is, in my opinion, just a really bad attitude to have. Because none of them are broken. They're not gaining any wild advantage on any of these cards.
And I'm certainly not telling anybody to like it. Because, like, I don't really like it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna say, like, to Zach that, like, hey, you like The Walking Dead, you don't get to enjoy this, don't buy it, you're trash, and it's trash. Like, that's not the point.
With that going on, what's everyone's opinions on, like, because I saw a few posts at certain Discord servers, like the big, like, play online servers.
Play EDH, yeah.
Yeah, have decided to ban these cards.
Super overreach of their authority, and it's not appropriate. In any way, you don't get to ban not legal cards because boo-hoo, I didn't get my way with the RC ban. Mm-hmm. If there is an RC, the whole point of their existence is that we think that, all right, they can balance the format, and to a certain point, everyone's going to listen. But
we will listen to our.
But you're not going to make like individual
gods.
Server bans and like individual store bans, because like I would, if my like store just came out, hey Daniel, you can't play Multani anymore, I wouldn't go to that store anymore. I'd be like, well, I'm going to go play what I want to play. Like that's
so that opinion or that like ruling has really kind of upset me in a couple different ways. Like, as soon as Negan was pulled, you guys knew I already had a deck built. Like,
Zach started brewing that immediately.
Yep.
I was so excited, and my wife, love her to death. She is so supportive, but she doesn't do Magic at all. She hasn't wanted to play, but that's the thing, right? So I was like, babe, look, they're doing The Walking Dead, like, for real. She's like, if they do Negan, I'll start playing Magic. I sent her the card, and she was like, Are you kidding me? It's like
It's all happening.
That's Hope also had no interest in playing Magic. Like
here I am on a podcast.
Yeah, like rewind a few years. Like Hope didn't want to play at all. She had no interest in hearing about it.
That's kind of the thing, you know, like I built this deck I'm going to play, like I'm super excited about, but like my wife is like actually like, okay, like, you know, if you let me use the Negan deck, I'll try to learn to play Magic with you just so I can have a, you know, like we can have that kind of in common, but also because like I'm interested in this stuff, you know. So what am I supposed to do? You know, we sat down and she's playing on her laptop, I'm playing on my laptop because COVID's still a thing, and some guy tells my wife, nope, you can't play because that card's banned. Well, that's the only card I want to play with.
Yeah.
I guess the only reason why I started playing, I wanted to start playing Magic was because I like this character.
Well, and the problem with that is, like, I don't understand the justification of like, no, like I didn't get my way, and everyone's like, all right, I'll play my Urza deck, and everyone's like, yeah, that's fair.
Well, like so for Negan, like I guess like the people, like, because Zach filled us in on the back of like the lore of Negan.
Yeah, basically,
because we had no idea.
Basically, the whole controversy revolves around everyone's like, oh, there's sexual violence in the adult show, and this is a PG-13 game, and then everyone brought up like, oh, but what about like Yawgmoth and Urza's genocide? And everyone's like, well, I mean,
we can let those slide. They happened in the past.
The entirety of New Phyrexia.
Listen,
well, they're not humans.
Hatred of Phyrexians, fine.
Yeah.
That was kind of my whole thing, is like I'm very sympathetic. I'm very much like, if you feel this way about something, like I'm going to do everything in my absolute power to make sure every play experience is good for you, that I don't ever make anyone feel uncomfortable. I mean, you guys know, anytime we have a guest on or anytime we're doing streaming, I always ask people their pronouns. Like I try to
Zach
be
is polite.
I try so hard.
He should be Canadian.
Yeah, Zach is an honorary Canadian.
Zach should switch places.
Did you say me and Zach? You're not wrong.
So I try very, very hard to make sure everyone is like comfortable when we're playing. But the second people started going to town on my boy Negan, and they started saying all this stuff and like attacking people because
fake news.
A fictional character brutalizes people, which he definitely does.
But like that's the thing. Like Hope. Name your favorite character in Magic.
Every Yawgmoth.
No,
Nicobolus.
It's Nicobolus. Everyone knows it's Nicobolus. She's just going on every one of them. But yes, it's Nicobolus. And like, read what goes on Amonkhet, and then whine to me that Negan hits someone with a baseball bat. Like, you know what I mean? Like he.
So like the whole thing about people complaining about violence or we'll just say evil in general, just evil tendencies.
Yeah.
Is you can't have a good guy
unless there's a bad guy.
Like, and like it just comes down to like, are we going to start now censoring
Bolus?
Well, yeah, someone told, like, one of the arguments someone posted was that they're just like, oh, well, like, Negan's a character who depicts violence. And I just linked them the card of Kefnet's last word, which is Kefnet on the ground dying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, So
my thing is, and once again, like it only has to do with the Walking Dead lore, but like the whole point of like, if you watch The Walking Dead, and even like Robert Kirkman, the creator behind The Walking Dead, has even said like, if we were to start the show series, instead of following Rick and his group and followed Negan and his group,
he would be the good guy in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole point is for Negan's character is to basically be a mirror reflecting the choices and the whole, just everything with their personality. It's just like, these are the choices Negan has made and he's owned it, whereas Rick has made these choices and thinks that he's a good guy, but in all reality he's not. They're just
he's
surviving.
A terrible person.
But that's the exact thing. It's all about perspective. It's no different than in the game. Like I said, if we would have been on Yawgmoth's side, if we would have been on
perceptions,
if we would have been on Bolus's side, then Ugin would have been the bad guy.
Yep.
You know, like it's all about like how, like the lens that you're seeing it through. It's no different than having like heroes and anti-heroes and stuff.
I'm on Bolus's side. Like, let's just get rid of Jace.
Tell me about it.
No,
Dragon Daddy.
You're all wrong. Like I was talking about there, the Amonkhet story is a sad story.
It's so brutal.
It's like, I would love to do a full episode on just the going-ons of Amonkhet and how, like,
that would be my absolute pleasure.
Nicobolus was like never has been a good guy. but like that was like evil.
Bad.
Like that is like second to only Yawgmoth in the series. Like read up on it. Anyone who's listening.
That was a long plan. Like
the absolute longest con.
Yeah. Like it was.
Do you know anything about it, Brian? Oh my god, I gotta tell you about it when we're done this. It's so good.
It's
insane.
It's some of the.
We should do an episode about it.
Okay.
It's some of the best storytelling in, like, I would say, in the modern era of Magic, for sure. It is very, very good.
So, go ahead.
But yeah, that's just the thing. Like, I understand people being uncomfortable with the fact that, like, you know, specifically the Negan card, because that's where a lot of the controversy is coming from. As far as, like, as the characters go, Negan is the most prolific of all the characters. But when you look at it, like, I'm just going to say this right now. And if you look at the comics, you look at the books, you look at the comics, you look at the show, never once did he sexually assault anyone. I want to put that out right now. I know he's a fictional character, but fact of the matter is that's never happened. If you see the card and you're uncomfortable because you think that, like, I am very sorry. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but just know
you're wrong. From
the source material, he didn't do that. Now, as far as brutalizing people, like, yes, that was another issue that got arise with the card art. Like, it depicts the first time we see Jeffrey D. Morgan, who plays Negan, in the show. That's how we see him the first time. And the first time we see him, two people get to meet Lucille. Like,
who hasn't brutalized a few people in their day?
But that's like at the end of the day, like, again, the cards aren't themselves offensive. Like, say whatever you want about what happens in the show. That's not on the card.
I'm gonna be real, it's like, I didn't have any idea. And, like, sure, you can be like, oh, like, ignorance, blah, 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 but, like, I don't watch the show. The only character that I'm familiar with is Rick and Glenn, and that's because everybody that I know loves Glenn, and Rick is the face of the show.
Yep.
Right? And that's the only reason.
Yeah. I know nothing about Walking Dead except for yelling, Coral!
It just makes me laugh because, like, the whole thing that, like, if you look at the show, the whole reason why Negan did what he did, it's like Rick's group kills at least 30 of Negan's people while they were asleep.
No.
They didn't. They weren't attacked. Nothing happened. They literally, like, to try to curry favor with this group to get into their like little living area. They're like, all right, we'll take care of this Negan guy. We've dealt with a lot worse. And they went and killed 30 people asleep in a compound.
Like, what if that would have been the other way around, right?
Well, like you said, right? Like, it's the parody in the show. It's the
parody.
Parity. Parity.
The mirroring between the, like, good and bad.
On this
fancy words.
On this episode, Hope learns English.
I thought you were saying parody.
Parody, like, hilarious.
Yes, like a yoke. Ah! Sorry.
Yeah, I understand people's, like, reluctancy to have an IP that isn't magic in Magic. I understand people, like, you know, this is an M-rated show on television. This is a 13 plus, you know, game, you know, so kids are being exposed to it.
Yeah,
but I think the end of the day, when you look at the actual cards, how they function, there's nothing offensive visually.
Yeah, the cards aren't offensive.
If you look at the actual demographic of players, it's not mostly kids. It's mostly adults. It's the majority adults. True. Also, to even get these cards, you have to have a credit card.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you never stolen your parents?
No, I would get my ass whooped.
Stolen my parents' credit card, I get beat.
Right there.
Once again, like, I am not saying that if any of the cards, not just the Negan card, if any of them make you uncomfortable, make you feel
like
play them any kind of way when you see it across the table, like, your your knee-jerk reaction shouldn't be to attack the other person, because 9 times out of 10, like, if I sit down and I'm playing my Negan deck, which I'm going to play, like, I'm so excited about this deck, but if I sit down and Hope was like, hey, I don't know a lot about the show, but I know what Negan is supposed to symbolize. I don't feel comfortable about that. Like, can you play something else? I'm probably not going to play something else, but I'll at least, you know, flip the card over, do something to be different. You know, I'm not going to make you feel bad, but, like, in the same sense, to outright tell someone, like, hey, if this is a card you're excited about, this is a deck you built around.
Yeah, too bad you can't play it.
That's also not how we progress as a society.
Like, that's also, like, not how do you build community. Like, nope. If somebody, because then, like, where do we draw the line?
Yep.
Well, right? I want to, one sec, sorry, I really want to jump in. we have a sponsor on the show that we're very, very excited to work with. They're Etch Gaming. The whole point of it is that people like to express themselves so much with Magic and like what they do, and like that's just it. Like if you're seeing the video here, Brian, show this like command tray. This is one of our like look at how nice this looks, right? Like the whole point is that people want to play a card that they like the art of, they like whatever, and you're able to like I said, look at how nice that the sponsor gear is.
Ridiculous.
Yes, but anyways. The whole point is that you want to play things that you like. Maybe it's the artwork. I ordered a Tangled Floral Hedron print the moment that card was spoiled. I was like, this is amazing art.
That's true.
If someone was just like, oh, that's offensive, like you can't have that, I'd be like, I can't say what I would say. But
because you would go on for hours.
Yeah, I wouldn't be polite about it, right? Like at the end of the day, like everyone's just trying to Magic, as I've said many times in the past, is our way to unwind. At the end of the week, you don't know what people go through in their day-to-day, what home problems, what work problems they're having. We all want to get together and just play the game. And, like, nobody wants to just, like, hear about, like, how much, like, I hate what you're doing and I hate this. And, like, it's a, like...
Thanks for bringing that negativity into the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right?
Well,
like,
even, just, like, to make it a little bit personal, like, I've had, like, quite a few personal things happen lately. Like, I've had a couple family members pass away. And so, like... After I got home from, like, one of the funerals, like, I was just like, I just want to go play Magic. So, like, I went and played Magic, and, like, I wasn't like, oh, creatures dying is bothering me. You know, it's just, like, I just needed to, like, get out of my head, you know? And, like, Magic is there for that.
Everyone's going to deal with their own problems their own way, but for the most of us, like, we all just want to go out, interact with people. Like, that's what I loved the most personally about going out to my game store is I interact with people that I don't normally get to see, talk with. We all sit down. It doesn't matter what political background we're from, like what job we have,
socioeconomic status,
anything, like where we came from, who we are, what we are. We're all out here to play Magic. We're all out here to just have a good time with our friends. And there's, in my opinion, no room for the toxicity that has come with this stuff. Like
this is not League of Legends.
If you don't like the product, don't buy it.
Yep.
But don't tell other people that they're not allowed to play it. Don't try and ruin other people's game because like of your own opinions, because at the end of the day that's all any of us have. They're just our opinions. If I don't want a card, I won't buy a card. Like that's all there is to it. There's some cards I don't like to play. I don't have a big old stack of Cyclonic Rifts I'm just hiding from everyone, right? I don't like the card, I don't buy the card.
You should give those to me.
I actively say that I don't like the card. I complain about Cyclonic Rift all the time, but that's just it. I'm not gonna like try and do like a hey, on our Discord or on our server no Cyclonic Rifts. Like
no.
Like, how self-entitled do you have to be to try and, like, ban what other people are playing? We all... Go ahead, Zach.
I get the same way. You guys know my hate for the Narset, like the legendary creature Narset.
Ugh.
I absolutely despise that card. But if we sit down, if any of our guests come on, if I sit down with anyone and they're just like, hey, I'm playing Narset, like...
Definitely okay, not me.
Daniel just starts picking up his cards and someone's Cycrops.
But you know, like I'm never ever going to make someone feel bad because like if they're like super into Narset, if they just bleed Jeskai, I'm never ever going to ruin someone's time. Like even if I have a bad time in the game and they had a good time, like I'm just happy like we got to play and I'm happy someone's deck went off.
Yep.
Someone's stoked. There's nothing worse when somebody ruins your win or when they ruin your play because they're tilted about it and you're like they ruin your excitement.
Early scooping.
Oh, so and like that's what's happening right now. Like people are trying to like ruin the fun.
They're trying to preemptively scoop against the deck they haven't played.
You don't have to like it.
This isn't Arena. You can't just disconnect from me.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to like it. You don't have to buy it. Do I think it sets like a weird precedent? Yeah, but we don't know what's gonna happen yet. But we can't say what they're gonna do with this like
the money
in the future. We don't know what they're gonna do with this in the future. We have no idea.
I mean. We are going to get Commander Legends. What's to say, like, let's say Wizards has actually been actively looking at all this stuff, and they're just like, well, people are super into this, or people, like, wanted these cards. Let's just go ahead and we'll print them as, like, I don't know, just, like, in promo packs or something, like, hey, well, you guys will get these cards. Like,
it's too early.
I think the skin cards have been the best option so far. Like, I didn't really like the Godzilla ones personally too much.
Daniel was so against them
'Cause
when
I'm
they
like-
got released.
But
then
they're
I'm like,
such a
"Oh."
good idea.
But
Yeah.
then I talked with like another group we talk with, and they're like, yeah, like I really liked all those movies. Like it reminds me of like my childhood. Like I watched these movies with my parents when I was younger, and I was like, all right, like then like I realized that like I was like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that there's not a huge market for that. Am I going to buy the Walking Dead set? Obviously, I like to collect. I like to collect cards. And I'm probably not going to play it. Like, the Rick is really cool. It would fit so well into Trin and Silvar, into my Boros decks.
I'll never buy another Secret Lair to the day I die.
No,
I'm so mad.
Well, I'll probably get it after I die, but...
I want to get in on the Godzilla one. You were really against it when you thought that those were going to be the cards.
Yes.
But then it had the altars, and you're like, oh, that's just the altar of this other card? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to be seeing a meaningful reprint of the Walking Dead ones until most likely the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
When they're starting to
they're not going to reprint these cards.
No.
They're going to say, oh, they weren't well received enough. They're not like these are
I
going to
don't
be a
think
collectible
they're
item.
ever going to get reprinted because
But-
they have to have the licensing rights.
But
Well, I mean,
let's
no, I mean,
one
so-
second.
They
Sorry.
can
Sorry.
redo
No,
the
one
different art.
second. Let me reel this all back in.
No.
Let's go back in time a few years ago when they're like, hey, here's an alternate art foil Jace, and only the first X people get this. What a debacle, right? Like this is the right way to do it. Like that, they are learning from their mistakes, and the Mythic editions, the Mythic editions turning into the Secret Lairs where they're print to demand is at least a step up.
That was the right choice.
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's just it. If you don't want it, don't buy it and stuff, right? Like obviously the cards are going to be valuable, but so is like the Grimlock. It's like $180. Like no one's crying about Grimlock.
Yeah, and like again, we have to remember
silver border.
But it doesn't matter if it wasn't silver border, there wouldn't be any different. Do you think more people are going to be like, "Oh, this is my Autobots dinosaur deck"?
I think the big reason is because of the legality. I think that's one of the biggest issues is the legality. Because like Commander players would play it regardless. Commander players don't care.
But that's the only outcry. Like I said, I'm not seeing any other Eternal format being like, "This is an outrage."
Yeah, I don't see vintage players complaining.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But like again, we have to remember that at the end of the day, Wizards is a business.
I turn one Mox Emerald Black Lotus and cast Daryl.
But also at the end of the day, like I think one of the big things is that if I could finish my sentence.
Hope's brain doesn't work.
Did you sniff out your idea? But yeah,
what are we talking about?
It's going to be like get them while they're hot, essentially. If you don't like them, don't
if you
get
want
them,
them,
but don't ruin someone else's fun with them.
Yeah, like with anything in Magic, the collectible aspect of it is going to raise the value of it. Yes, of course, the Secret Lair, the whole point of it is there is some scarcity.
And it's a collecting card game.
Yeah, but there is like scarcity in all of the product. At the end of the day, are you all right there, Hope?
She's trying to think about what she was going to say.
There was like a point.
Hope's brain's restarting. I wish I had the Windows effect.
What's
the Windows restart?
My thing is, I do see these cards being reprinted, not as the Walking Dead versions, but the actual Magic versions that Morrow's already said that they will do with as much of a like.
He has said if there's
can.
Yeah, but they won't. I will straight out read the future right now. They're not reprinting these cards. This is the only chance you're going to get these cards. They're never coming back.
If I was a betting man,
I think that he just said that to like quell everybody's like whatever.
He's trying to say we can, but like the whole argument of like if it's popular enough, we'll reprint it. Like, yeah, how's those Fetch Lands reprint coming?
Yeah,
right.
I just see this as such a not negative thing, but just like such a dog pile of how things have went. I almost see them doing it to spite people. Like, yes, we are printing, either no, we're not going to print these at all because of how you acted, or yes, we are reprinting these as soon as possible just to get you guys to shut up. But not the Walking Dead version. The Magic, like,
I think they're just not going to reprint them and just call it a day. And that's just how it's going to be.
I could see a zombie set coming out at some point. And maybe them using these as legendary humans trying to survive.
I am going to save you guys time. It's not happening. They're not going
to reprint it. Let me dream, Dan.
I was going to say, I think that if they did a zombie set, though, that would be really nice if we could like follow up with wherever the heck Liliana ended up. Because I know she went back to Dominaria, but I don't know if she's doing anything.
Yeah,
but I don't think that we'll see these, though.
They're never going to reprint these cards again. This is the one time you're going to get them, and it's no different than every other Secret Lair. There's not going to be a chance to get the new Mimeoplasm a second time if there's enough demand for it. That's it. That like they're not. They might print them again in some other form, but again, the mechanics on these cards do not warrant these cards like getting a reprint. They're not important enough. They're not good enough. Like, no offense to anyone who likes the cards and their effects, that's not good enough. Like, White doesn't need another Anthem reprint. Like, that's,
give me Nexus of Fate or give me Bless.
Yeah, like the Negan has a good ability, like the sacrifice where you get like treasure tokens and stuff. I could see that like maybe being a thing, but Wizards, they have more incentive just to be like, oh, people like that mechanic, let me put that more into this. Like, let me put a card where you get treasure tokens if people are sacrificing things.
And when does this set come out?
Oh, who knows?
Never.
Who knows?
It goes live, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, 1 day and 11 hours and 44 minutes.
So it goes live right now.
October 4th.
It is live actively.
Yeah, by the time you guys are listening, it'll be on.
If you're listening anytime other than Sunday, it's done.
And I'll be honest, I have never bought a Secret Lair yet. I think this is gonna be the first one that I buy, just because Dan mentioning. Have you thought about Rick and Trin and Silvar?
Rick and Trin and Silvar is a good card.
Moly.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's like I said, there's a lot of people are going to do what Brian's doing, and they saw one card they like, and they're going to reprint it. You're either a fan of the show or you like one of the cards. No one's like, I have commander plans for all of these. Check out my Michonne deck.
Oh,
right.
I'll gladly make a Michonne deck. I like that.
No, I know, but
Green Black Zombies.
Yeah, but like that's not why you're buying it.
No.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, like commander plans for three of the cards, but
that's Hope whispering mute me for some reason because she doesn't seem to understand that that's not how it works. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much. There's not really a good way to end on this one. Like, the people are toxic. If people are being toxic and you're seeing it, try to not engage in arguments. This is the hardest thing for me to do because I really like
Daniel
to
loves
argue.
arguing.
I have been applauding you. You've been doing a great job.
He's a big boy.
It's in my blood.
He did it.
But at the same time, like, Magic doesn't need more toxicity. This is where people come and unwind. Yep. Let's try and keep that out of the community, guys. We're all better than this, and I know that all the people I play with, they're better people than this too. Like, we are all here to have fun. We're here to have a good time. Let's keep that going.
We actually had fantastic conversations.
Oh yeah, our Discord was the most positive of any, and I'm in a lot of those. Ours was just good. A lot of people.
Well, and not even just like positive, but it was like civil.
Yeah, even people that didn't like it.
Yeah,
we had a good conversation, and that's at the end of the day. Like, don't be toxic, don't be negative, don't tell people they're wrong for liking them. Don't tell them, oh well, if you do like them, they're wrong. Like, let everyone have their own opinions. If you don't want the set, don't buy it. That's all there is to it. Do not support it if you don't want to. And that's just it. Are you guys just having fun?
Yeah. We're trading wheels.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope I'll let you.
I thought we were showing this up.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you guys want to?
Yeah, so like Daniel mentioned at the beginning of the episode is
ish.
Yeah, ish, halfway through. We've gotten a sponsor, a partner with Etch Gaming, and he has sent out to us like some of his really neat. So like this is like, well, if you're watching us on YouTube or Patreon, this is like they have these fancy. They have wood on the bottom or on the back,
and then just like an acrylic.
Yeah, an acrylic like frame.
Yeah, Zach's got one
of
the deck boxes here.
And it's just like really good. It's a commander tray. He has +1/+1 counters, which...
Well, here, one sec, Brian. Take my... This is Oboon. Yeah, like, look at that. They're all magnetic, but there, I've just passed Brian a Oboon. So this is what it'll look like in the tray. Like, it's a nice spot for your commander to sit. It has the number of times you've cast it. These trays are awesome. There's so many different kinds available. But the nicest thing is that box that Zach is showing right now. Brian, put the commander in it. It has a commander display in the box, which I've always thought would be a beautiful thing for it.
Yeah, Daniel and I have literally had this discussion before about how it would be so dope to have like
an actual commander display, so then you're not looking for whatever it is, and then it just go ahead. Zach?
Edge Gaming is just insane. Like, he has these cool poison counters.
They're so cool.
And I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I was so excited just like how everything smelled.
Yeah.
The wood. Yeah.
This is oh wow, Hope's mic. This is a very quality product, but like, look at these like little counters that Hope has here. Do you know how nice it is to actually have little 1/1 counters instead of just like, here's my dice? That's Tayam has made me realize I needed to up my game because I can't keep putting like my red dice are vigilance counters and these are +1/+1 counters.
Yeah, right.
Guys, make sure you check out Etch Gaming. Brian, where can they find them?
So you can find Etch Gaming. We do have them linked on. They will be linked on our website. You can find them on Instagram, Etch Gaming. They do have an Etsy page with all of their products. And Hope was showing off their neat...
the upkeep trigger?
So, upon thy upkeep, forget not what thou hast earned.
That is, I definitely know a few people who need to remember those upkeep triggers.
A great laugh with that one.
Yeah,
it's great. Like, I've loved all the products that we have gotten and looked at so far. Well, and stay tuned for some future giveaways. We have...
What?
Yeah, we have some great product to give away.
Audio only listeners, again, sorry.
I'm sorry about my mic. I'm just too juicy. Also, the neon things that I showed off, those are all counters. They're like ability counters, like all the ones from Ikoria. They're super sweet.
And he has them in different colors too, so you can get ability counters in green, blue, I believe like an orange, and clear. Just go to his Etsy page, take a look. Like, so much great stuff there to really up your game. And to just, I guess,
and everything's
organize
magnetic.
Things.
Yes, everything is magnetic.
What?
You're just very excited.
The magnets are dope.
They are.
All right, I'm rolling at Hope. Where can they find everything?
You can find everything, all of our socials on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the whole nine, Into the 99 podcast. Also, feel free to reach out to us and join our Discord. Like I said, we have an awesome community. Also, check out our website, into the99.com. And lastly, we do stream every Saturday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and our podcast goes up every Sunday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Take a breath. Jeez.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you so much for listening.
Peace.
See ya.
Did you mention Patreon?
Patreon.
It's still rolling. So yeah.
It exists. You get early access to stuff.
Yeah.
And Daniel's nudes. Just kidding.
I'm gonna have to censor that.
This many bits page.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.
I didn't know.